Hello. Farewell.
Anchors away and planks are down. We'll get the Azerite detector online. You handle the bad guys.
Rush in and tear them limb from limb. Gonna be blood everywhere. But the dark spear never die.
Just gonna lie down for a bit.
So, we've spotted some Kvaldir's ships, and they'll be here any minute. Must be for the Azerite. Why did I take this job again? We're halfway there, team. Now, don't let me down.
Hicks in your hat. Shrink your head. I die. A warrior's death.
Our hold's glittering and shining. Just a few more of these rocks, and we're off. And we're off. Wow, look at that hole. Nice job out there. Are you thirsty? I'm thirsty. Ship's docked. Enjoy your adventure while we spin up the old Azerite detector.
Come on, let's get off this ship already. We're losing time. Go, go, go!
Incinerate them!
Everyone, attack!
Not fair. You guys are horrible.
Some unfriendly island trolls have decided to crash this party. They're making camp around the island. We're halfway there, team. Now, don't let me down.
Can't get away.
almost done here. Just a bit more and we'll ship out. And we're done. Great work. Let's head home.
Our sentinels have identified a new threat in the area. Slay it before it assaults our forces.
Beware.
The threat is no more. Well fought, champion. This foe poses a grave threat to the people of Darkshore. It must be cut down. The threat is no more. Well fought, champion. Our sentinels have identified a new threat in the area. Slay it before it assaults our forces. The threat is no more. Well fought, champion.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles, like you. Many farewells. Come, shop, browse. Smell. Beware of Yeti.
I've seen things that would scare you shellless. Come back with some better stories.
you should do, and maybe some things that you should just hold off on doing. So today we are going to get you prepared. Rise of Ashara kick. Rise of Ashara kicks off in just 6 days. There's a bunch that you should know, there are things you should do, and maybe some things that you should just hold off on doing. So today we are going to get you prepared for the patch that could maybe stabilize Battle for Azeroth. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Warcraft video. So yes, Rise of Ashara, it is coming. It's going to be doing a lot for the game, seemingly being intended as another jumping off point into this expansion. It's ideal for players who have kind of sat out from WoW thus far in 2019. So if you're interested in coming back or just getting up to speed, here's what I think you should do to prepare for the patch. Okay, Artifact Power. It is still going to be a pretty major part of the game, but a few changes are coming that are worth you knowing. So first, the current Heart of Azeroth cap is level 50. You won't need higher than that to access the new Azerite traits on the new Azerite gear of this patch. However, you will need more than that to access the new Heart of Azeroth essences, which are a new passive and active sort of ability system we've covered before that you can slot into the Heart, and that's all unlocked through questing on patch day. So here's how they unlock. The Heart of Azeroth level 35 is required for the major power slot of the new Essence system, so that's the one that will give you a new active ability. Then level 3 gives you a stamina increase, 55 gets you a minor slot, then a stamina increase at 57 and 62, followed by a minor power slot at 65, and then a final stamina increase at level 67. So basically, as long as you have Heart of Azeroth 35, you are good to get your major power on patch day right when it launches. However, you will want to try to get to the current cap of 50 before then if you can. Artifact Knowledge certainly has ticked up to the point where, yeah, that won't be too hard to achieve, but do remember that Artifact Knowledge will of course continue to go up throughout the patch, making catch up ever easier. So what do you want to do for AP grinding? Well, you know, you can do some this week, just try to get 35 and just as high as you feel comfortable, but don't go too hard because buffs are coming. So patch 8.2 increases the Emissary AP reward to 3,000, up from 1,500. Now that's fairly massive, and it also comes on top of the Island Weekly quest rewarding 3,500, up from 2,500. So combine these increases with the usual 30% weekly increase in effectiveness from Artifact Knowledge, and you'll find that your Heart of Azeroth leveling and maintenance will be a fair bit more time efficient in patch 8.2, which I think is rather ideal because you probably prefer to be out in Nashatar or Mechagon doing content. I also do recommend that you farm up some more resources to spend on AP missions just over the next few weeks, and you'll want to do that now because the resources, like their sort of value stays constant, right? But the conversion rate into artifact power only increases over time because of knowledge, making it more efficient to just front load your farming of that now and to just, you know, keep doing the AP missions day in, day out through the phone app or something, so you're always progressing. And then on top of that, right now and through the patch, it's just, you know, that, doing your Warfront turn-in quests, and when you do the maths on those Warfront turn-ins, the time efficiency of those for AP is just so damn high. So even if you're doing it through the auction house, I really recommend still doing those. So really, the emissaries, the Warfronts, and the War Table, that should be enough to keep you taking over with artifact power gains. So now that we have covered artifact power, let's move on to just some content. And it's pretty simple. There's just some things I think you should blast through before 8.2 launches. So Pathfinder Part 1, you've probably got it already, but it is something you will want to do. So if you haven't, just do the current war campaigns, finish the Battle for Azeroth storylines, get the 100 world quests, explore the zones, and get revered with the faction-appropriate reputations. Shouldn't take that much, like it's a fair amount of work from scratch, but most players will already be most of the way through there. Plus, you will want to ensure that you do the war campaigns anyway, because of course, the next patch will bring along a new leg of the war campaign. And then with that covered, let's talk about professions. So there's a new set of crafted gear, and just like with the past patches, it will be at 410, 425, and 440, so matching the raid difficulties. So you'll want to just make sure you've got your armor type appropriate crafting profession ready if you're interested in that, and then do also note that there are some 370s that can be crafted for catch-up reasons. There are then 4 mount equipments that can be crafted, so the water walking mount shoes are by blacksmiths, the enchanters can make the speed increase hoof plates, leather workers can make the anti-daze barding, and tailors can make the saddle shoes. I really don't see the saddle shoot being a good seller, but the other 3 should make a fair amount of money early on and then just end up being a kind of low profit margin consumable market, I would imagine. There isn't really a whole lot else though. This patch mostly is just a reset for the professions. There's a new set of gems and reagents found throughout the 2 zones, so that initially will level the playing field and make it a pretty good time to jump into crafting. Next though, let's just talk some things that are generally worth you knowing before you go into this patch. So 8.2 releases June 25th for the US, 26th for the EU, but that's not when Season 3 of BFA starts. Season 3 starts on the 9th of July. Now, Season 3, of course, will bring you the increase in item level, rewards, and difficulty from dungeon content, as well as increasing the item level ceiling for world content items and the game's Titan Fortune cap. And it will also bring in Beguiling, the new Mythic Plus affix, and it will also mark, of course, the opening of the raid. And that essentially does mean that a fair few of the essences will only be available once Season 3 starts, but there will still be plenty of essences to go for in the initial 2 weeks. Then, of course, it will also refresh the Titan Residuum vendor, so as always, his prices will inflate massively, but the amount of Titan Residuum that you get from all of the current sources of it, they will also inflate massively, sort of in line. So that very much means the Titan Residuum you have now probably should be used now. The new raid will open on the 9th of July on Normal and Heroic, with LFR 1 and Mythic opening on the 16th of July. Raid Finder 2 will open on the 30th of July, with August 13th bringing Raid Finder Wing 3. Now those are the US dates, so if you want the EU date, just add 1. As you can see, it very much is in line with just a regular sort of affair for a patch. The main difference, though, is that patch 8.2's release is far closer to the start of Season 3. There's also significantly less arbitrary time gating in the new zones. From what we can tell so far, it mostly is just down to things being rep gated, which is fairly normal, and it's not the hard calendar-based time gating that many of Blizzard's recent things have had, so that definitely is a good thing. It should go down a lot better with players to give you more of the patch up front. However, we will just have to wait and see like what the live version of the patch is actually like, because sometimes they'll have everything open in PTR, but then on live there'll be time gating, and we'll just need to see how that goes. So let's just talk about what to do. I mean, if you really want to play WoW right now, I'd recommend doing evergreen things. Brawler's Guild, working on heritage armor, leveling up a new character or an allied race, perhaps going back to Legion and getting some of your artifact skins. With this patch essentially resetting Battle for Azeroth progress, I don't really see any point in burning yourself out to get a head start. Most players, in my view, will be best served by returning to the game in a balanced way and taking the content for what it is. There is some content that will be leaving the game though, but it's probably too late for that. You know, stuff like the 100% drop chance Mythic Jane amount ahead of the curve, you know, that stuff. I suppose if you also want to avail of Twink-based level boosting for the 110 to 120 bracket, well, you want to do that now. This is actually the last few days you'll be able to do that, because Blizzard are removing that in 8.2 by making no XP characters give a 95% XP reduction debuff to party members, but only the manual invite ones, so not match-made groups, meaning that people can't really, grief it on LFD. So, you might be wondering, right, we've got this far in this preparation guide, why the hell is it such a sparse guide? Well, I think more than ever WoW's patches, they do replace all of the content that has came before them. And I think that really is the case with this patch. I almost wonder if it is even more the case with this patch on purpose. I wonder if Blizzard know, hang on, we really, a few things messed up, a lot of players are pretty burnt from the game, we should probably design 8.2 to be quite a reset so that people can, come back into the game and, just have a good entry point. And that's a fairly interesting topic, because you could argue, and I think I definitely do agree, that too much of that, right? Too much of mid-expansion catch-up systems being incredible resets to gear that really does just ruin the sense of meaningfulness of your actions in the game. This is the one time where it might make sense to just have a patch that really does level the playing field, providing you jumping off point, and then we just need to hope that 8.3 does not do that as much. Now, there have been some good indications. A good example of that is the new essence system. So these essences, once unlocked, there you go, they are unlocked for you. In the next patch, they are not going to be superseded. You're not going to have big catch-up systems that invalidate your progress in earning the current essences. That's what Blizzard have recently said. So they've maybe committed to that sort of thing, to maybe not doing massive gear resets. Now that said, 8.3 will come out, it will probably have a gear catch-up system and a bunch of powerful new stuff that will probably make your 8.2 progress a little bit less relevant. But yeah, that's essentially it. This patch is a fairly good jumping off point into Battle for Azeroth again if you maybe played for a few weeks and want to check out at the start and then quit the game and maybe want to check it out now. That'll probably work just fine based on how Blizzard seem to be doing things. So a good example of that, and this is something we'll cover later on in the full gearing guide once we have that produced. But the new catch-up system for gear is actually pretty interesting. The initial catch-up gear is pretty darn quick to get. And the main meat of that system is the upgrades for that gear, which have no RNG, they have no time forging, they're pretty much a gear upgrade system. It might be one of the best upgrade systems or just sort of gear systems we've had in years. I mean, compare it to the pure randomness of the Argus tokens. So a few of those things do give me a little bit of hope that for players who kind of want look, it still is BFA, but maybe for the players who want a way better version of BFA, it's almost a good thing that there's not 500,000 things that you should be doing or feel like you need to do to prepare for this patch, and that it pretty much is just a patch you can get stuck right into. At least they are my thoughts on the topic anyway. So that's essentially what I do to prepare for this patch. That's pretty much it. Nothing super hardcore. I wouldn't recommend burning yourself out. Just if you're interested, hop in and see what the content is like. That's pretty much my take on it. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. There'll be a lot more about 8.2 on this channel over the coming days, so be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And with that, I'll see you next time.
Punches, lucky do's and rope. May your feet find good trails.
Travel afoot. anchors away and planks are down. We'll get the Azurite detector online. You handle the bad guys.
Is that really the Alliance ship? Was it attacked by a sea giant, or is that how it always looks?
Feeling dizzy? Routed by low force.
We've got Naga slithering out of the depths, looking like they're going to raid our stash. I'm going to go ahead and load the cannons now. Hull's half full of Azurite. Keep it up. You're doing great.
falling back. The light will guide me back.
Our hold's glittering and shining. Just a few more of these rocks, and we're off. You never let me down. I like that in a crew.